Miss Chen. What are clauses of contrast? Well, they are clauses that start with although, though, and even though. We use these kinds of clauses to express contrast. When we use the word though, it shows the most informal tone. When we use even though, it expresses the strongest tone. And we usually put these three words at the beginning or in the middle of a sentence. Let me show you our example here. Although the weather was very cold, they still order ice cream as their dessert. What about the Chinese sentence here? 虽然他昨天午夜才睡觉，但是早上6点就起床了。虽然 though 午夜 midnight, the whole sentence is though she went to bed at midnight, she still got up at 6 a.m. this morning. Or we can also say this. She still got up at 6 a.m., although she went to bed at midnight. There's a special usage for though that I'd like to quickly mention. We sometimes put the word though at the end of a sentence, and in this situation, the word though means however. Example, I just had a big meal, but I can still have some dessert though. Okay, now I'd like to move on to the word despite and the phrase in spite of. We can put a noun or a verb ing after despite and in spite of. We can also use the fact that. Example, despite her busy schedule, she still goes to the health club every day. The Chinese sentence for us to practice is 虽然肚子饿，但她还是决定工作做完再吃午餐。虽然 let's use in spite of this time. In spite of the hunger, he still decided to finish his work before having lunch. Okay, next we're going to practice clauses of purpose. We use to, in order to, so as to, plus a verb in base form. Or we can also use so that plus a subject and plus a modal verb and a verb. Take a look at some examples here. My parents went to school so as to have a meeting with my teacher. Or we can also say, my parents went to school so that they could have a meeting with my teacher. Let's do a quick practice here. 我工作加班是为了要赚足够的钱买车。工作加班 work overtime. We can say, I worked overtime in order to make enough money for a car. Or I can say, I worked overtime so that I could make enough money for a car. What about the negative forms of in order to and so as to? They are in order not to and so as not to. The example here is, she set the alarm in order not to oversleep. 为了不要超出预算，他们记下开销。预算 is budget. 开销 is expense. Okay. The English translation is, they write down their expenses so as not to go over their budget. Okay. Keep being positive and keep learning. I'll see you next time.